Hello there. Today's video is going to be about the topic that is very important. Um, I'm going to explain how there is and there are works, and I'm going to try to do this a lesson in English and Spanish because I believe that we both can benefit with this. The other day I was teaching this lesson um, to three different sections, and there were like each section has 30 and 30 students, and then also I was teaching this to two different private students, and I noticed that it can be a little confusing, but don't let this lesson to disguise you. I noticed that people believe and they think in both languages that it is very easy, and yes, I can use this whatever I want, but in reality it's not like that. It is a very easy lesson, but the key is to pay attention to those little details that I'm going to show you now. For this lesson, I'm using Interchange Intro Unit 7, and you can locate this on page 47, and also is the same lesson, and you can find a very similar lesson, but this is about questions and interchange number 1, Unit 7. I believe it's page 49, but one tells you, it shows you and teach you the affirmative and the negative form and when to use any and some. In book number 1, you will find the same lesson, but it's teaching us how to locate things in a neighborhood, and also how to make questions with there is and there are. And I combine both, and also I added some extra information. So let's take a look. We usually use there is and there are to give information for things in a place. This part is very important. We use there is and there are to give information for things in a place. En Spanish means aquí hay, o ahí hay, o aquí existe algo, en plural y en singular. Okay, it is to say that something exists or doesn't exist. Do not confuse this with where. For example, I can ask, is there any sugar in the pantry? That is different than where is the sugar. Es muy diferente preguntar si es que ahí hay azúcar en la alacena que decir dónde está el azúcar. For example, if I am around a neighbor, and let's see that I want to know, and I ask my neighbor if in my neighborhood, I'm new in this neighborhood, and I want to know if close to where we are living there is a laundromat or a supermarket. So in that case, I need to ask, is there any supermarket around here? Or I can ask, are there any supermarkets here? So we're going to take a look at all those details in order not to make a mistake. Because I can ask, where is the supermarket? ¿Dónde está el supermercado? O si es que aquí existe el supermercado. Or if we have a supermarket in this area or around this area. They are two different questions. So the first thing that we need to, now that we know the meaning, qué significa, we are going to see the formula. We're going to see, we're going to learn how we're going to put the words in what the order, the word order. Okay, so we use there is para decir aquí hay, aquí hay. There is. Only with singular nouns. Solo para decir de que aquí hay una sola cosa. Cosas que yo puedo contar. Things that I can count and they are singular. Okay, so they need to be, for example, units. When I'm talking about one thing and things that I can count. And that is very important in English. And that is very different than Spanish. That's why it is super, super important to learn the non-countable nouns in English. We do not have that in Spanish. Okay, so remember when we say furniture, maybe a lot of people laugh when in Spanish we can confuse those words and we say furnitures with an S, but furniture is a word that is non-countable, so I can never say it in English furnitures. In English I say furniture without the S, but in Spanish I add the S. Muebles. Yo no digo mueble. Solo digo mueble cuando tengo uno. Cuando tengo muchos, digo muebles. En inglés no. En inglés yo digo, si yo tengo un sofá, sillas y mesa, mueble. Okay, so review your nouns, non-countable and countable nouns. Because there is a rule that we need to follow in English that differs from Spanish. So with that, I will leave you with this. Only there is with singular nouns. One book, one orange, one banana, one car, one pen. All right? Okay. So let's go to our next slide. And here, notice that with things that are more than one, so two and more, we use are. There are. And in this case, we need to remember that jeans, for example, jeans, one pair of jeans is a plural. So I need to use are. For scissors, for glasses, because they are in pairs, they come in pairs, I need to use are. Okay, but I believe that in English we don't, in Spanish we don't do that. In Spanish I said, ¿dónde están mis jeans? ¿Dónde están mis espejuelos? ¿Dónde están mis aretes? Yes, we do that. Yes, I just proved that. Yes, we say that. In Spanish, also we use the plural for jeans, scissors, earrings, and glasses. And the plural will be están. So that's a proof. All right, so let's go to the next one. Now we're going to learn about the rule with singular nouns. The rule with singular nouns. Remember that we were talking about things that I can count. 1, 2, 3. One orange, one banana, one pen. Okay? So always we need to put the A and the N. Depending of, we need to follow the rule, depending of how the word begins. If the word begins with a consonant, we need to start with the A. If the word starts with a vowel, we need to start with an N. For example, there is a banana on the table. And I say there is an orange on the table. And remember the rule of the article A and N before a noun that starts with a consonant or a vowel. We still have to remember that, and we still need to apply this rule. And here we have the example. There is a, starts with the next word, the noun starts with a consonant. So I put an A because it's only one and it's countable. I count the books. I can say 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. And then I said there is, estoy diciendo aquí hay una naranja sobre la mesa. There is an orange on the table. The noun starts with a vowel, so I need to put the article N before the vowel, okay? And because orange, I can say 1 orange and 2 oranges, I need to put the word A and N. Pay attention to this. Countable singular nouns. I need to say there is a book on the desk. There is an orange on the table. These two words, A and N, are the same y significa uno. Ahí hay uno, ahí hay un libro encima de la mesa. Ahí hay una naranja encima de la mesa. I'm sorry. Now, look at this. We're going to take a look of the rule, the other rule with uncountable nouns. Remember what are uncountable nouns? Things that I don't, usually I don't say 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, I cannot count the milk, juice, rice, sugar, chocolate. All those things are uncountable. So for that reason, I don't put the word a right in front. I cannot do that, but I always, with uncountable, remember this rule, with uncountable, I need to use the singular verb to be is. Always uncountable nouns take the singular verb. Always, okay? And we don't have that in Spanish. Yo digo en español, ahí hay leche, directo. Ahí hay jugo. Sí, en la refrigeradora hay jugo. Sí, hay jugo. Sí, hay leche. No hay arroz. No hay azúcar. Okay? But because I cannot count those articles, milk, juice, rice, and sugar, I'm going to add the word some because I don't know the quantity. Eso significa como algo. En español no digo, sí hay algo de azúcar. ¿Hay azúcar o no hay azúcar? In English I said some. So, for uncountable nouns, there, important, there is some milk on the floor. Be careful, watch out. There is some milk on the floor. Hay un poco de leche. Hay un poco de leche en el piso. Cuidado. ¿Ok? Eso es lo que estamos diciendo. Lo mismo voy a usar para el jugo. There is some juice in the fridge. There is some coffee in the cup. There is some sugar in the pantry. Uncountable nouns have no plural. Remember that. The verb form is singular. Is, and we use the word some. Remember that. Now, when I need to make a question is when I'm going to change the some for the any. I cannot count sugar, so I use any or much when I need to make questions. Is there any sugar? ¿Hay algo de azúcar? Ahí hay azúcar, eso es lo que yo quiero decir. Ahí hay azúcar. We have to pronounce the words very well in English and in Spanish. In English, is there any sugar? Is there any sugar? En español, ahí hay azúcar. How much wine is there? How much wine is there? Because I can, wine, remember, is what? Wine is uncountable. Followed by is, because uncountable nouns goes together with singular verbs. And now I have the word how much. ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánto vino hay? ¿Cuánto vino hay? Significa esto. ¿Cuánto vino hay? ¿Cuánto de vino hay? Actually, mejor en español. ¿Cuánto de vino hay ahí? O ¿cuánto vino queda? Dependiendo del país. Spanish also varies depending on the countries. Some countries have a pattern to ask questions. Not all Spanish are the same. Spanish from Mexico is different from Venezuela. Peruvian Spanish is very different than Argentinian Spanish. And there are some terms that differs, but we understand. We all understand each other. So there are some variation of the sentences, but we understand. So what I'm going to try to speak standard Spanish, and I'm going to try to avoid those special words that we use in different countries. But in English, I ask, how much wine is there? How much wine is there? Okay, and study this very well. It's super important in English, please. Now, rule with plural nouns. Plural nouns. What are plural nouns? Plural nouns are things that I can count with numbers. 2 bananas, 2 oranges, 3 cell phones, 4 pens, 4 scissors, 2 glasses. Everything that I can put a number before that is a plural noun, more than one. And remember, noun in English means sustantivo en español. El sustantivo es el nombre de las cosas. Todas las cosas tienen un nombre. Todo lo que te rodea tiene un nombre. Y una sugerencia que te doy es que cuando tengas la oportunidad, mires alrededor tuyo y te des cuenta de que absolutamente todo lo que te está rodeando tiene un nombre. In English, we call that nouns. Sustantivo means noun. A noun is the name of everything around you. Even your ideas. You can name your ideas. You can name your feelings. You can name everything that you can see, perceive, and smell. Everything has a noun, okay? Remember that the verb is the action. The noun is the name of things, place, animals, and people. Now, plural means that is more than one. We use some with plural nouns in positive statements. What is a statement? A statement is the sentence. And a statement is information, is the sentence. A statement es la oración. We call that sentences, and sentence or a statement is an affirmative sentence. It's an information, complete sentence. And we use any with plural nouns in negative sentences and also in interrogative sentences. Okay? Remember this. We can use any to make questions in singular or plural. Any to make questions. Okay, you don't need to remember if it needs to be singular or plural. Questions, all the questions with any. You can ask with an any or without the any. It doesn't make any difference, okay? But if you have something that is singular, one, you need to put the a right in front of the noun. Otherwise, it's going to sound weird. It's not going to sound proper. Is there, now what we do is we put the verb to be first, like we always make questions. Because if we have the verb to be and we need to make a question, we just need to move the verb to be here at the beginning of the sentence, at the beginning of the question. Is there any cat in the garage? You want to know if you have one cat in the garage. Is there any cat in the garage? Is there any cat in the garage? Is the same as, is there a cat in the garage? Is there a cat in the garage? So I can substitute the any with the a in singular questions. Okay, so take a look at this and study. You need to study and memorize and create sentences with this. This is just a presentation. You need to follow up all the exercises. Soon I'm going to post a video where you can practice these topics. Now let's take a look. Are there any? This is a plural question. Are there any cats? Because I can count the cats, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a singular or plural. Are there any cats in the garage? Because I am making a question. You have to put the any, or if you want to avoid the any, you will be also correct. Are there cats in the garage? So these two are the same. I can either ask with any or without the any. Both questions are okay. It's different than this one. The first one, you need to, if you choose, you can choose any or a. The second one, you can choose the any or just avoid the any. Now, look at this in the bottom. Look at the bottom. It says, it's a negative statement, it's a negative sentence, and it says, it's not a statement, it's a sentence, negative sentence, and it says, there aren't any cats in the garage. First of all, you need to notice that you have here a plural. You need to put the word any because you have here a negative sentence. Okay, the part of this sentence is very, very important because it's a negative. Aren't any cats in the garage. There aren't any cats in the garage. And I can say there isn't a cat in the garage. Now, to complete this lesson, we are going to take a look at something that is different here. The formula is, the word is there's. See, you have the contraction here. There's no, and directly you go with the singular noun. What is this? What is it that I'm talking about? Is that when you have the contraction together with the verb to be with the no, and you say there isn't, you need to add the word a in singular. When you have the contraction like this, in this form, before everything and alone, there's. See the pronunciation? There's no, there is no, you don't add the word a, no a here. There's no sofa in the bedroom. Yo no digo there is no a sofa in the bedroom. There is no, and directly you go to the noun. You talk about the noun. There's no sofa in the bedroom. Nothing in the middle. Now, see, this is what I was talking before. There, you have there, isn't a, because the contraction here is different. You are using a different type of contraction, is isn't. So there isn't. The one before was there's no, here is there isn't. The meaning is the same. El significado es completamente el mismo. Lo que cambia es la gramática. The grammar changes, but the meaning is the same. There isn't a, and then after the a, you mention and you write or you speak about the singular noun. There isn't a sofa in the bedroom. See the difference? The same thing is going to happen with plurals. I have there are no, because look at this situation here. You have there. The sound is there. I cannot have a contraction where the word sounds like a there, or you cannot make contraction with another or, because here is or. So there are no contraction here, no, and immediately after the word no, you're going to write or say the noun, el sustantivo, en plural. There are no, nada en el medio, no any, no a, nada en el medio, directo. There are no books in the bookcase. Notice that are, because it's a plural noun here, and nothing in the middle. Study this, pay attention to this rule, super important if you want to become fluent in English. Now, in this form, I can use a contraction because the R is not going to be together with the other R from there. I putting together the sound, I creating a new sound here. I separating the there, aren't. Now aren't becomes one sound with a negative. with a note. Are not. This means are not. But when we speak English, we use a lot of contractions. So we say aren't. Now, because I have this kind of contraction, I need to put the any. There are any. And then right after the any, I'm going to put the plural noun here. Super important. These details are crucial to become a better speaker, to become a better fluent in the second language that I'm learning. So I said there aren't any books in the bookcase. Okay, this rule here, super important. Look at the pieces here. There aren't any books, because it's plural, in the bookcase. I need to add the word any, and the situation here is that the contraction goes before any.